Victoria does all the things. It's amazing for me to observe, like, just so many different challenges that different women are really tackling. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about like what you're doing and what you're working on.
So right now I am the special ed department chair at a middle school here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I am a mother of a toddler, and right now I'm going to get my master's online. So I'm working with all three right now. And while we're in this isolation period, it's been a little tough just navigating how I'm going to manage my time. And I think that's the main thing, is really just how we're managing our time through this period.
So wait, let me get this straight. You are going to school online yourself.
Yes.
You're teaching kids online. And
yes, somewhat, yes.
And you are taking care of a toddler.
Yes.
At home. Okay,
yes.
Walk us through it. Walk us through it. Tell us about like the time management tips that you have employed and how they're working for you.
So we are starting our distant learning through online with our school starting this coming week. And so what we've been doing in the meantime is just preparing, getting packets out to students, or just preparing lessons online. And so my job title isn't actually doing direct face-to-face contact with students right now, because I'm in charge of just ensuring that our students in the special education population gets the services and extra help that they need. So, but I still have to attend meetings, and we are busy in that sense of just having meetings and planning what we're going to be doing. So some of the things that I do at home is, before we have our meetings, the night before, I just try to make sure that the house is somewhat clean, because since I'm at home, I feel the need to clean around me. So it's not always perfect. Like, my house is a mess right now, but because I had some meetings today, I just tried to do what I could last night to just not have to feel that need to clean.
And people are sitting on Zoom calls all day long for work, and you know, some people have nothing behind them like I do, and some people have total chaos behind them.
Oh yeah.
And it's weird. It's like it's you can think like, oh, it's such a trivial thing, it doesn't matter right now, but you know, you're home, you're a mom, you want to keep your house and your home clean and orderly, because especially depending on the size of the space you're in, it can be totally chaotic, right?
Right, exactly. So I just try and do as much as I can, and by managing my time throughout the day, it's kind of helped me organize just how the household is run, and you know, how my job and just schoolwork. So when I put my daughter down for nap time, that's whenever I do my online school. And throughout the day, I can't really I can't organize as much, because my daughter is going to be asking for different things throughout the day. So if I have a meeting, I just make sure she has what she needs to keep herself busy. And I think a lot of people know during this time it's hard because you have kids at home. So it's going to be a little bit more flexible. And I think that's more of the key when you're working at home, is with your kids, is to just be flexible.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's really interesting is that under the best circumstances, if your kids were home and you were trying to get stuff done, it would be difficult. But the kids are picking up on our stress, on our concern, our agitation. How are you managing her disconnect or her change of routine and that disruption to her?
I have been trying to get her to just keep on her routine that she had from her daycare. And so whatever we were doing there, I tried to keep the same. But if she's not having it and not wanting to do her flashcards, then I'm like, okay, well, let's go outside and play. I just try and just make sure she's happy. That's more of my goal, is just to make sure she's happy through all of this. And you know, it's hard when you have your kids at home, because they're not in the structured environment that they're used to. Yeah. So it's not going to be the same, and you're not going to be getting through all of the homeschooling that you would think. So I think it's just my main goal is just to keep her happy, whatever that's going to be at the time.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? I think that there are people who think, okay, keep the kids on routine. Don't let them deviate. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you get them through. And it feels like they're kind of ignoring, like, kids have mental health issues too. They're picking up on the stress and the concern and the agitation of the environment. Like, what is your position? Do you think, you should keep that rigid schedule as much as possible? Or, the other end of the spectrum is the kids are in their pajamas all day and you don't do anything. Where do you fall on that continuum?
I have a couple of different thoughts on that. I think you should have somewhat of a plan for them to what is going to be their takeaway for the day. I don't think that it should be so much focused on anything new that they're going to be learning, but so much more of just a enrichment for them and what are things that they've already learned at school and maybe just enhance that. Also just learning life skills at home, baking a cake or helping you clean, doing the laundry in the backyard, looking at flowers and bugs, and just not just so much stressing on what they're going to be learning that day, and focus on what's important at that time. I really think that the living skills is important for our kids to learn right now. And I'm a true believer in, if you're happy, the kids are going to be happy. So if you're going to need to take a bubble bath during their nap time versus, cleaning around the house or planning little lessons for them, then so be it. I think it's a true reflection of how the parent is at home. If you're happy or stressed, that's how your kid is going to be for that day too. So if you just find fun ways to get them to learn throughout the day, then that's a huge win. But if all they did that day was, read a book, something simple like that, then I think that's just fine as well.
I think you've made such a great point of just like managing your own energy, right? Like the fact that your kids are picking up on how you're feeling.
Right.
And, when you are anxious, when you are angry, one of the things I think is the most amazing things about special ed teachers, and why I think they make the world sing, is patience.
Yes.
Patience when a student is really struggling with a concept or with a word. And I have seen some truly epic meltdowns of mothers trying to force their kids to get long division right now or to solve that problem, and they're like, they just at war over it. Right. Like, tell me about how do you find that patience, that peace to work with somebody who is struggling with a particular subject?
You have to understand that not everyone learns the same, and you just have to try and breathe through it. It's going to be hard to get them to concept a task that you're trying to get through with them, and if it's not working, you need to maybe try finding a different way of how they learn. And it's not maybe just a visual learner. It could be maybe they're more of a hands-on learner. And so I think it's just navigating what's the best way they're going to learn is important.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult because you have, on one hand, the teachers have sent this work home, and you want to keep up and you want to make sure you are keeping your child consistent with the other kids in the class, and that it's improving. But at the same time, you have to know your child. Right. And you have to know what they're capable of and know how they're feeling, and you have to dial into that and lean into that. And it's really I think it's an interesting struggle because these parents have not been taught to be teachers, right? They've been taught, they don't have this skill set. And one thing that I hope really comes out of this whole experience is that we start paying our teachers more, because we see the value that you guys bring to our lives, right? And just our most precious commodity is our children. There's nothing more precious. And we're seeing how difficult the job really is. So let's talk a little bit more about you. How are you managing stress right now? I mean, I can't even imagine all the balls you're trying to juggle in the air. How are you just managing your stress?
I spend time at night. If my daughter goes to sleep, I will watch my reality TV at night just to make sure I have some me time. Or like I said earlier, when my daughter's taking a nap, and that was the other day, I was just having a really bad day with her, and I could feel my patience being tested. So as soon as she went down for a nap, I had so much to do, but I just knew I needed to take a bubble bath and just relax for a little while. And after I did that, I felt so much better. It was, you know, she got the better version of me. So that was, after that point, the day got so much better. And so I knew it wasn't her. She's a toddler. She doesn't know how to manage those feelings. So it's really me and how I'm going to handle everything. I have used Favor to go deliver wine at my home, so that way I didn't have to leave home. And just, you know, exercising at home. I've taken some like ballet classes online. That has helped. And I just try and take it day by day and not put so much stress on me or my family to get everything done all at once, and just rely on my support, whether it's like my in-laws or my husband, to help me get through this. So
I love what she said. It's so beautifully put. Like, she got the better version of me.
Right.
I love that. And I think it's so important that in a space where, I don't know about you, but I'm cooking more, I'm washing more dishes, I'm doing more laundry. It's just like all of a sudden I feel like Susie Homemaker. And it is really tempting to just be on this constant like productivity thing. Like, I got to do this and I got to do that. But if you don't fuel yourself, if you don't let yourself get revived, if you don't let yourself get rejuvenated or nourished, then nobody's getting the best part of you. Like, you have to take care of yourself. So I absolutely love that. So as you're kind of dealing with a toddler all day, as you're trying to do your schoolwork for yourself online, what activities or what are some of the things you're having her do? Whoops, sorry guys. What are some of the activities that you're doing with her to keep her occupied? Realistically, is it pretty much she needs all of your attention all the time and you're not really able to do anything while she's awake?
No, I was, you know, before becoming a mother, I was so huge on like, no, I'm not going to give my daughter the tablet or a phone to keep her busy. But once you become a mother, it's like everything goes out the door and you just do what you can in that moment. So I have definitely given her my phone or a tablet for her to just occupy herself while I get something done. But when I am trying to get her to be like more productive and actually learning something, we'll do stuff I find on Pinterest, and there's so many resources and activities you can do from home that you may already have that will help them keep busy, and just let her be imaginative and find ways of how she's going to be herself in the future. Like, focus on those things that she enjoys to do, whether it's like painting. I can see her being artistic, so I like for her to do a lot of arts and crafts during this time, and she likes being outside, so I try to get her to go outside more, and that's really what I have her doing to get her busy throughout the day.
And you're right. There are so many resources online. We're going to be tapping and tagging all kinds of tools and sites. And you've already given us a few that we need to take a look at. So thank you for that. But it is just so important to like access all of these resources, right? It's funny that people are like, I'm bored. And I'm like, are you bored? Like, how could you be bored? Like, at this point, you can learn to play an instrument. You can, there's so many things you can learn to do on YouTube right now. So even if that's what you're doing, just picking up a crazy hobby, I'm going to learn to knit. I'm going to learn to just something to fill your time. And we got to do that with our kids as well, right?
Right.
And I think this whole concept of like managing your energy and your patience, there's a great concern that child abuse levels are going to go shooting through the roof because people just do not have patience with their children. Let them be. Let them be kids. Let them get the pots out and bang and make as much noise as they can possibly make. Let them, let them have, we had a screaming session the other day with my goddaughter. Just scream, because sometimes I need to scream. They need to scream.
Right.
So I think like really just being imaginative about what you're having them engage in. And I love what you said about life lessons. Washing the dishes, doing a recipe. This is half a cup. This is a quarter of a cup. Which one is a quarter? Which one is a dime? Which one is a nickel? Like those exercises, they still add value to your children's lives. They're not a waste of time. It's helpful to use those life lessons to get them where, they need to be. So I think that you've given us so much to think about today, and I just appreciate you. I support you. I salute you for all the work that you're doing. Everybody who is in education right now, I think they're just killing the game, because they are just stepping up to this incredible challenge of how do you keep educating our children. They can't wait. I can wait a year. And if I had to be sequestered and not have a lot of personal enrichment. But when you're 3, when you're 5, that's a valuable year to lose or to miss. So thank you so much for keeping that mission going, and for continuing to grow yourself. And last but not least, for taking care of that sweet baby girl and making sure she is just everything that she needs to be and that she's happy. I love that you said, I just want her to be happy. And I just send you all the love and light. And I just thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Denise.
Watch your work.
Bye.